Oh, paper.
I know.
We never thought maybe these
Yeah.
small
You guys-
questions
Yeah.
in
What
life.
is?
Although it's kind of nice to get your grades back right away when you take the online ones. You don't
Yeah.
have to worry about it.
That is a nice thing.
I don't know, I mean, I took my online midterm for econ and I got my results back 2 weeks after, but like it was all online anyway, so I don't know why I took that one.
Yeah. 20%.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's just so nice seeing humans. It's so nice seeing humans and not teaching to the, well, I guess, yeah, there's Laney back there, just like, okay, this is in the grid, in the grid. Huh?
I forgot that people can still hear us.
Yeah, no, they can definitely hear you. They can definitely, they're part of class. They're part of class. It's just they got cataracts in their eyes. They can't see anything. You guys can.
Yeah.
Did y'all have your lip sync check?
Oh,
No, I didn't have it checked, but we did it and had it like open.
Yeah, same.
And then nobody looked for it.
Yeah, I saw the
I
signs.
was like, this is working so
They have
well.
all these layers that are just like toilet paper. They just got, it's just like, okay.
The dining halls are so bad.
Oh, I know. At least they're letting
Still?
us do grab and go now.
Oh.
Grab for having to sign in or just like they don't check anything.
I thought you meant bad as in like crowded, but.
Oh,
Yeah.
like dangerous?
Like,
Yeah.
no lines or like
There's-
shake and
Oh my
stuff.
gosh,
shake
The
the
line
leg.
for O's Pizza goes down the stairs and onto the patio.
And everybody's 6 feet away?
No,
No, no,
it's
no.
like stair person
I
stairs.
mean, we're gonna have
Okay.
ABC News back here again. Just know we're gonna have ABC World News back here again. Now, guys, if I do this, can you still take notes? Are you
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
able to take notes? You guys in that back area, are you? Because it helps me be able to see the rest of your class that's behind us. But you can see that's what I see back there. You can see that it's so much less blurry
Mhm.
with Zoom in the room, but then I know what you guys are seeing looks nothing like that. Because at your apartments and other places, I just don't think it has the bandwidth to carry it.
Our Wi-Fi froze this morning and my roommate could not submit her homework.
It's so much. You guys are carrying so much. And then you're like, every teacher's sending you videos, papers to read, there's just too much information. You just can't go through it all. You gotta treat it like a smorgasbord. You gotta treat it like a cafeteria, it's tea hall. Okay, I'll take a little of this, I'll take a little of that, devour a little of this. At the end of the semester, I'll claim COVID. At the end of the semester, I guess I'm filming this. Okay, what time does Verizon have? 11:59, 1 minute. Okay, let me just. Okay, A-dayers and Z-dayers. Let's get that camera on. Z-dayers, let's get our cameras on. Let me see those lovely faces. So you A-dayers, you can see this is the way you were. You guys are in the grid back there, and now you're here in here. Stand up, don't breathe, but stand up, gently stand up, stretch, Zach, stretch wherever you're at, man, Zach, stretch. Oh. All right, let's sit back down. Okay, nuts and bolts. We have what on Friday? Quest 2. Okay, I wanna talk about that first. Quest 2. It's not in this room. It's not in this room. It's in Burris 31. It's in Burris 31. Burris 031. It's in the basement. It's in the basement of this building, right underneath this room. It's in the basement of this building, right underneath this room, essentially, is where it's at. It's a big room. It's a big room. Everybody come, and you'll get a nice old-fashioned paper copy. You'll get a nice old-fashioned paper copy of your quest. You'll get it. We're going to use most of that class just because it's a new space for you. You're going to be acclimating to that. You're all going to be together for the first time this semester. We're going to bring the band back together. So we're going to use most of the class for the quest. We're going to use most of the class. In general, that's not going to be the case. In general, I'll lecture for 20 minutes, you'll quest for 30 minutes. The content that's going to be on the quest, the stuff that you're responsible for. I've kind of laid it out here. Quest 2. The section 2.5, that homework, section 2.5 related to continuity. The section 2.5 related to continuity. The section 2.6 related to the limit definition of the derivative. Look at me, guys. You're going to have to use the limit definition of derivative probably several times on this quest. Section 3.1, the first set of homework. Now, in the announcement, in our homework announcement, I put up more homework. So there's more homework. There's no WebAssign this week. When we have quests, we're not having WebAssign. Okay, and then the other thing is a working understanding of the flashcards that we have through last Friday. All of our derivative flashcards through last Friday. And so you guys are going to help me. That's where we're going to start today. You guys are going to help me. Here's my flashcards. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 you're going to be responsible for. You are allowed to bring a copy of your limit tools. You're allowed to bring a copy of your limit tools to the quest. You're not allowed to bring anything else. Nothing else is allowed to be written on it. Just a copy of your limit tools. Okay, I want you guys at your seats to fill in these 6 flashcards. Do not look at your notes. What do you have in your brain for those 6 flashcards? Oh, human beings. You guys in iPad land that are watching this later, you should be doing the same thing. Do not just zoom ahead. Get out of your way. Okay, guys, go to grid view, go to grid view, go to grid view, go to grid view, go to grid view. And I want you guys are in grid view, you guys are in grid view, okay? You can see everybody for the first time. What I want you guys to do now is I want you to hold up to the screen what you have, and I want you guys to hold up to each other what you have. So go ahead, hold up what you've got. Look at what other people have. Look at what other people have.
I'm gonna figure out.
Let's see.
Plus
Kelly, nice, Kelly, Kelly, nice.
The first two.
Let me see. Nick, could you hold yours up again? Nick, could you hold yours up?
Remember this one.
You like mine coming through?
Almost see it. Now I see what you guys see. I'm sorry. It's just looking good, Nick. You're looking good, man. Shay, what do you got for me, man? Shay, can I see yours?
Right? It's just like copying this. One will be the product of the derivative.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, okay.
Which one did you guys?
Okay, make me number one. Make me number one. Make me number one.
Again?
How nice is it, guys, being in the class? You don't have to do anything. You're like, oh, okay, I'm just here. Okay, now you guys are gonna help me. You guys are gonna help me. What's the derivative of x? What is the derivative of x as we're heading into Friday? What's the derivative of x? 1. If I don't ask you to prove it, you're just using your derivative flashcard. What's the derivative of any constant? 7, 21, it doesn't matter. 0. What if you've got a constant times a function? Like for example, minus 8 times x to the 4th, or 5 times x squared. What's the derivative of a constant times a function? K times f prime of x. K times f prime of x. The constant times the derivative of the function. Now this is the one we proved last time. This is the one we talked about last time. If you have the sum, the derivative of a sum, it ended up being, a derivative of a sum ended up being the sum of the derivative. You guys are awesome. So the derivative of f plus or minus g is the derivative of f plus or minus g prime of x. How about the derivative of x raised to any power? How about the derivative of x raised to any power?
K times kx.
K minus 1.
This is our favorite one, and it's the one we seem to use the most. This power rule. It's the one we seem to use the most. And then the one that's kind of loosened up and let us kind of like be free, the derivative of f times g. The derivative of f times g is
X times G
f prime of x times g of x
F of X times G prime of X.
plus f of x times g prime of x. Okay, you guys are going to have all of those memorized. You guys are going to have all of those memorized by Friday. You're going to have all of those memorized by Friday. Can you do that? Can you guys do that for me? Can you do that? Can you guys? Okay. So now, imagine that you're facing this on Friday. Imagine that you're facing this nasty function. And for you guys at home, I mean, doesn't this look pretty clear, guys in the room? Doesn't this look pretty clear? Okay, but to these guys, it doesn't look clear at all, right? I mean, it's like you've got cataracts in your eyes. It's like you've got cataracts in your eyes. This is 7x to the 6th minus 8x to the 4th plus 12x cubed plus 5x squared plus 4x plus 3. I would never ask you to use the limit definition on this piece. I would never ask you to do that. But I will ask you to take the derivative of it. I will ask you to take the derivative of it using combinations of these flashcards. So go after it. Go after it. If you had to take the derivative of that, what would the derivative of that be using flashcards? You can do it all in one move. You can do it all in one move. Go ahead. Try to take the derivative of that horrible function. Okay, you guys are going to breakout rooms. You guys are going to breakout rooms.
Bye, guys.
Okay, so now you can see they're all breaking out. Now you guys are in breakout rooms. You guys are in breakout rooms, but don't get together. Do not get together. Pretend like you're in the grid. Show us somebody else what you got. Show somebody else what you got.
Okay,
See if you got the same grid.
Yeah, using
plus 36 x squared plus 10 x plus 4.
Dude, it's taking so long to do 7 times 6. And also, that's the hardest part of the whole
I
class.
was like, okay, well, I know 6 times 5 is 35.
Well, I was thinking-
36 or 39.
Like, it's a really easy one, I just don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I was like, okay, 8 times 4 is 32, and then I was looking over and I was like, that's not the real. Yes, it is.
Plus 10x.
36 plus 10x plus 4 plus
So you
0.
put 32 and
Yeah,
plus
I
what?
never include. Dr. Warren, when we're doing this, do we have to include the plus 0?
No,
Okay.
no.
12 times 3 is 36.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
No, I didn't get the
Okay. What did you guys
Plus
get
10x
in your
plus
breakout rooms? What did you guys get? What did you guys get in your breakout rooms? What did you get for the derivative of this?
42 x to the third.
42x to the fifth. 6 times 7 is 42. This is the hard part. Okay, minus 4 times 8, 32x cubed, plus
36 x squared.
36x squared. And if some of you are like, Dr. Warren, I still don't know what's going on. Look. 3 times 12 is 36. Minus 1 from this is 2. We're really using our power rule. And then what's the derivative of x? What's the derivative of x?
Dr. Warren, you missed it.
Oh, I did, thank you.
10x.
Okay. Then we would have 2 times 5 is 10x. And then
Plus 4.
plus 4. And what's the derivative of a constant? What's the derivative of a constant?
0.
How many people are pretty good with this? How many people are pretty good with this? Okay, so guys, that's about as complicated as the functions are going to get. That's about as complicated as the functions are going to get on Quest 2. If I say tangent line, you say...
Y minus FC equals X minus C times X minus C.
Okay, this is the tangent line. Now imagine I said I want the equation of the tangent line, and let's make x 0. That'll make our life really simple. What is f of 0? What is f of 0? What is f of 0? Yeah, just put a 0 in, everybody dies, Die, 3. What is f prime of 0? What is f prime of 0? So look over here. What is f prime of 0? Die, 4. Now imagine I said I wanted the equation of the tangent line. What did I just say? I want the equation of the tangent line to the point 0, 3 of this beast we function. I want the equation of the tangent line. To the point 0, 3 of this beastly function. Who's C? Who is C in this game, guys? Who's C? 0. So it'd be the same thing as y minus f of 0 equals f prime of 0 times x minus 0. Can you guys hear okay through this math? Are you able to, like, am I articulating enough? And how about here, guys? Are you guys able to hear me? Over here, what's your name? Sorry. Lindsay, am I reaching you back there? Okay. So now, who is f of 0? Who is f of 0 in there? 3. And who is the f prime of 0? Who is the f prime of 0? 4. X minus 0 is that. You guys can leave it in this form on the quest. Are you guys feeling pretty comfortable with that? I mean, like, if I hit you with a tangent line, and guess what? I'm going to hit you with I'm going to beat on you with a tangent line. Okay, like a nun. I'm going to beat on you with a tangent line. Okay, on Friday. Okay, wherever you're at, stand up. Try not to breathe too much in the room. Yes.
Would you also accept the other form too, or no?
Who is that, Julia?
Yeah.
Julia, yes, anything that's right, I'll accept. You just have anything that's right, I'll accept. Okay, let's sit back down, Are you guys doing training exercises?
No, we just have to wear a uniform for lab.
Oh,
Right
nice,
after.
nice, yeah, okay. Like, if they're sitting you out in tents together,
No, we're good.
Okay,
No
okay.
sense today.
I was gonna be pissed. I was gonna call you the CO. Okay. How many people realize it's going to get harder? How many people realize it's gonna get harder? Okay, let's jump up the game.
Oh,
Henry, and Kyle, this is not going to be on the next quest. Are you listening, guys? This is not gonna be on the next quest. Okay, so here we go. Imagine that we run in to take the derivative of this function. I'm just gonna call it h of x. Look at that beast. Look at that beast. And you're like, Dr. Warren, could you read that to me? Yeah. It's x cubed. It's x cubed. Everybody in the class is like, oh, I can read. X cubed plus 5x squared plus 7x plus 3 times x to the 4th plus 5x squared plus 8x plus 1. You guys can't even plot the function. Let alone talk about the tangent line to this beast. Could you take the derivative of it?
yes.
And you're like, ooh, wait, Dr. Warren. This is nasty. You want me to expand this out? This term times this term, and this times this term? That's going to take you forever. Say, no, I'm not going to do that.
No, we're not gonna do that.
But if you look at this, could you take the derivative of this? Look at the screen. Could you guys take the derivative of that term?
Yeah.
And do you think you could take the derivative of that term? Do you think you could take the derivative of that term? Now you guys are going to say this with me. It's this function
This function
times
times
that
that
function.
function.
So let's say that again. It's
It's this function times that function.
okay, now, when we hit times, let's not spread COVID too much, but let's say it really loud. It's
This function times
that function. Which flashcard over here do you think we would use to take the derivative of it? If you had to guess, which flashcard do you think we would use to take the derivative of this? F of x times g of x prime. Who's the f of x? Who's the f of x?
This function.
This
This
function. And who's the g of x?
That function.
That function. Okay. Strap on your parachute. Let's go after this. Okay. Now, I would never, look at me guys, I'll never expect you to put in this intermediate step. Guys, I will never, look at how horrible that is. I mean, like, you guys have been facing this all the time. Get out of my face, Dr. Warren. And then we had this. Punch me back, Nick. Punch me back, Nick. Nick, punch me back. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. I think we're ready for like Zoom movies.
You know how funny this was when I was taking like the Zoom class in the kitchen? My mom was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm mad."
Oh no.
My mom came out with like.
Remember guys, what happens in this class stays in this class. I knew the moment we went online, I was going to lose my job. I mean, for 30 years I've held my job, but I knew the moment we went online and I started posting videos, I was screwed. It's been nice teaching. Okay, now back to where we were here. I would never expect you to put in this intermediate step. Kelly in the video. Kelly in the grid. I never expect you to put this in. What's your name? Jonathan, I would never expect you to put, this is only for learning. I want you to see the product rule. It's the derivative, using the product rule, it's the derivative of the first function, so I'm just gonna put that in there. This is a lot of work that doesn't return a lot. The derivative of the first function, now read the rule, times the second function. So times the second function.
That function.
That function. Am I done? Am I done? Am I done?
Oh.
No, there's a big old nasty plus sign in our product rule. Now I have the first function,
This
my
function.
first function, which is this function. So just write it down. X cubed plus 5x squared plus 7x plus 3. And then we got the last part of the rule. Then we got the last part of the rule, which is the derivative of g, which is that function. Now again, guys, this is not on quest 2. This is not on quest 2. I would never do this step. I would never do this step. Okay, now you guys are going to help me out. How many people think they can take the derivative of what's inside there? How many think they can take the derivative of that? So you guys help me out. What would the derivative of this function be?
3x squared plus 10x plus 7.
Okay, now we'll just notice there's no derivative. How many of you guys see there's no derivative there? Okay, there's no derivative, so just leave that guy alone. Now you're just thinking about what you're going to eat for dinner. Okay, I think I'm going to have steak and potatoes. But you're not doing anything. You're not really doing anything. Let's bring this plus in. This is more thinking about dinner. You're not, it's done. There's no derivative there. It's done.
Maybe salmon and potatoes.
Salmon and potatoes. I like that even better. I don't eat red meat. My wife refused to cook it. And you don't want what I cook. So now I don't eat red meat. Okay, what's the derivative of that function? What's the derivative of that function? Now I'm going to play singles. Go ahead, Paris. What's the derivative of that function?
4x cubed plus 10x plus 8.
4x cubed plus 10x plus 8. How many people got that? How many people got that? Okay. At this point of the semester, there's no reason to simplify. You're done. You're done.
Okay.
At this point of the semester, there's no reason to simplify. I will accept that as an answer. The calculus is done. The calculus is done at that point. The calculus is finished. Everything else would be algebra. And right now, there's no return on the algebra. Do you guys think you can do that? Do you guys think you can do that? Do you think you can do that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Stand up again. Stand up again. I know you guys need this. Stretch. Try not to just slap your face, say wake up. Okay, sit back down. Okay, what I'm going to do, guys, is going to seem like a shell game. It's going to feel like you're in Ocean City and there's somebody out there trying to get your money and moving shells around. Let me show you a kind of problem that we're going to use this on. Suppose you're facing this. Suppose you've got x squared plus 5x plus 7 over x squared plus 2x plus 1. And you want to take the derivative of this function. You want to take the derivative of that function. And you're like, ooh, Dr. Warren, That's a fraction, so say that, say that, say that.
Ooh,
Dr.
Warren,
that's a fraction.
Some of you guys there didn't say anything. In the grid, say it, say it, say it, say it, say it, say it. I'm still hearing nothing.
True, Dr. Warren, that's a fraction.
Thank you, Zach. Thanks for stepping up. Thanks for stepping up. Okay. Notice, guys. Do I have a flashcard built yet to handle this?
No.
No. I don't have anything of a function over a function. This flashcard fails. 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 And even this flashcard in its current form fails me. But this guy's still going to save the day. Product rule's still going to save the day. Let's focus. Okay, grab your magic lasso. Grab your magic lasso. Kelly, grab that magic lasso. Okay, Henry, grab that magic lasso. Okay, throw the magic lasso. Shay, wrap up your attention span. Everybody else, wrap up. Henry, wrap up your attention span. Wrap up your attention span. Okay, I need you to focus.
That's not.
Okay. We'll come back to this. The basic form of what I have here, is I've got a function over a function. A function divided by a function. Now you guys help me out. Who's the f of x? Back here in this problem, who's the f of x?
X squared
plus 5x plus 7.
And who's the g of x? Who's the g of x?
X squared plus 2x plus 1.
Okay, so if I can figure this out for this, I'll be able to do that. All right, what I want to find is this. That's what I want to find. I want to find h prime of x. Let's put a treasure chest beside this. So let's draw a treasure chest. So we got a treasure chest. This is what we want to find. This is the treasure. Okay. I'm giving you the power to focus. See, I felt that evil spirit of boredom floating through the room. I saw it infecting you, even out there. Be gone, evil spirit! I exorcise you! Out of the room! Out of my students' rooms! If h of x is equal to f of x over g of x, could I multiply both sides by g of x? One more time. If h of x is equal to f of x over g of x, could I multiply both sides by g of x?
Yeah.
So let's do that. So it would logically follow that h of x times g of x would be equal to f of x. So all I've done is essentially, back in high school, they would say you took the g to the other side. You would take the g to the other side. Okay. Let me tell you a little story, because I know you can't focus anyhow. Did I tell you about the time that my brother came at me with a broken soda bottle? Did I tell you about that?
Yes.
Okay, what did Dad do?
He yelled at you.
He yelled
Punished
at
both.
you.
He punished both of us. In fact, he spanked both of us. Okay, he spanked us. Okay, even though Doug was trying to cut me up. I mean, I was punching him in the face, which probably was a little beyond what I should have done. But if somebody's trying to cut you up, I give you guys the freedom to punch them in the face. Do you agree?
That's so
Aiden, do you agree? Okay,
That's what I
so what I'm going to do is I'm going to discipline both sides of these. Here's Doug, here's me. Here's Doug, here's me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the derivative. It would logically follow then that the derivative of this guy, I'm slapping this guy with the derivative. If these two things are equal, would have to be equal to the derivative of the derivative of f of x, which I'm just going to write as the derivative of just f prime of x. Is it Mason? Mason, see, I did learn from looking at the grid. See, like I can look up there and say, Jonathan. Like I know Jonathan, like I'll remember you. Jonathan, when you're in class, I hope I can remember you too. Zach, I got you now. Zach, I got you. Aiden, I've got you.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Okay, what's the treasure, Mason? What's the treasure? H prime of x. We don't have an h prime of x yet. We got an f prime of x, but we don't have an h prime of x. What rule could I use on that derivative? What rule could I use on that derivative?
Product.
So you guys go ahead and do that. You guys at your seats, you use product rule on that derivative.
Dr. Warren,
Yes.
is this something that's gonna be on quest number 2, or we're still doing stuff that's not?
Yeah, the rest of class will not be on Quest 2, so none of this will be on Quest 2.
Thank you.
But if that was me when I was in college, that would tell me to turn my brain off. That's it, and I don't want that.
No, I'm not gonna.
No,
I
I'm-
wanna know if I understand.
No, I know, Julia, you're a good student. I was a bad student. I had that semester of 0.0. Without COVID.
Professor Ward, how do you get a 0.0? Because I feel like in high school they kind of like entry points, you know?
Well, this was college.
Oh, it was in college. Okay,
Yeah,
that makes
I
sense.
had a bad habit of not going to class
That makes sense in college.
and not doing my homework and drinking and signing up for a fraternity that I never could join because I had a 0.00. I could get hazed, and trust me, it was different in the 80s. Okay, all right. Now, how many people are done? How many people have that? How many people? So what is the derivative of h times g?
H prime of x times g of x plus h of x times g prime of x.
The derivative of the
It
it was in stereo. The derivative of the first times the
second plus the
first times the derivative of the second. Now, Mason, I'm gonna ask you again. Who's the treasurer?
H prime of x.
Okay, who's behind Mason?
Christian.
Christian. Is the treasurer at least on the board now? Is the treasurer at least on the field?
Yeah.
Is the treasurer on the field? This is the treasure. This is the treasure. I just circled the treasure. X marks the spot. There's too many people over here. Let's try to get the treasure all by itself. So I want to get the treasure by itself. Let's take these guys, this h times g prime. Let's take this h times g prime to the other side. So you go ahead and do that. Leave this term here, but take the other term over with the f prime. I can't help it. I gotta walk around here. I shouldn't, but I'm going to. I won't breathe on you. I'm 3 feet. Great view. Go to great view. Hold up what you have. Che, hold up what you have. Che, are you pledging?
Subtracted.
So H prime of x times g of x equals
You said what?
Okay, Che, thanks. Henry, what do you got for me, man? Henry?
Yeah.
Okay. Aiden, what do you got?
Good job, Professor. Let's judge the other
Oh,
side.
sorry, is this the way it looks, guys? Is that the way,
Yes.
is that the way
Yes.
that looks?
Yeah.
That stinks, Okay. I take this guy, he's plus over here. When he comes to the other side, he's gonna be, this term is a plus here. When he comes to the other side, he's gonna be a minus. So I would have h prime of x times g of x. This guy's staying here. And then I'm gonna have an f prime of x minus h of x times g prime of x. Are you guys following? Are you following so
Yes.
far?
Yes.
Okay, this is where the shell game is. This is where the shell game is. This is where I'm playing the shell game. Right now, I want you to put a star in your notes. I want you to put a star in your notes, and I want you to write the word trick. Because when you're studying for quest 3, this is the trick. And I don't want you wondering, where did this come from? H was originally equal to f over g, and that's the trick. H is equal to f over g, so write that down, Put trick, and put a big smiley face beside it. Put a big smiley face beside it. Okay, then h prime of x times g of x would be equal to, you guys help me out, would be equal to f prime of x minus h of x,
Which is
but h of x is equal to
f of x over g of x.
h of x is equal to f of x over g of x. So replace the h with f over g. Replace that h with f over g. Avalon, you're replacing this h with that f over g. Look at that, I've got 2 Zachs right beside each other there. Zach Oberd, sorry, Zach, I'm butchering your name, aren't I?
No, you're good.
Okay, Zach, we're replacing the h with
F of x over g of x.
f of x over g of x. Henry, we're replacing this h with f of x over g of x. So we'd have minus f of x over g of x times g prime of x. That's the second hardest move in this argument. How many people are following so far? How many people are kind of with me so far? Okay, this is the hardest algebra. And I'm going to do it with numbers first. So I'm going to erase flashcards. I've got 7 minus 3/5. 7 minus 3/5 times 8. So write that down. 7 minus 3/5 times 8. Okay, is this the same thing? Remember, if you were in elementary school, they would say simplify this. Is this the same thing as 7 minus 3 times 8 over 5? Is this the same thing as 7 minus 3 times 8 over 5?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, like Dr. Warren, I don't remember how to deal with fractions like this. If you have 2/3 times 5, how do you deal with fractions like that? If you have 2/3 times 5, this is the same thing as 2/3 times 5 divided by 1. Isn't 5 divided by 1 the same thing as 5?
Yeah.
How do you deal with fractions when they're like this? Multiply them across. Just 3 times 1, 2 times 5, and you see you're going to get the same thing that you have there. Do you see how you're going to get the same thing you have there? Okay, now I want to subtract these two functions. What do I need to get if I'm going to subtract those two fractions? A common denominator. What would be the denominator that I want to subtract these two? 5. So if I make this a 5, I'm allowed to do it
Times, yeah.
as long as I put it up there. Isn't that correct?
Yeah.
As long as I do that. Now, this would be the same thing as 7 times 5 minus 3 times 8 all over 5. Are you guys following it with the numbers? Are you following with the numbers?
Yes.
Okay, now focus. Who's in the 7 location? Over here, who's in the 7 location? F prime of x. Who's in the 8 location? Who's in the 8 location? And who's in the 3/5 location? Who's in the 3/5? F of x over g of x. Okay, so now we're gonna do the same algebra. We're gonna do the same algebra. And I guess I'm gonna have to go over here. Sorry guys, I'm jumping up here. This would imply that h prime of x times g of x is equal to f prime of x minus f of x times g prime of x over g of x. And that's just the same move I'm making right here. That was the same move I was making there. This is the same thing as f of x times g prime of x over g of x. Agree or disagree? Agree or disagree?
Agreed.
Okay. Let's get a common denominator. It's kind of like playing the role of the 5. What would I need to multiply top and bottom by here? What would I need to multiply top and bottom by there to get a common denominator? G of x. So I would have f prime of x times g of x divided by the 5, minus f of x times g prime of x over g of x. Is everybody following, guys? Are you with me so far? How about in the grid? Are you guys with me in the back row in the okay, is the denominator the same? Is the denominator the same now, guys?
Yes.
Is the denominator the same?
Yes.
Then let's combine the fractions. Then this would imply h prime of g of x, h prime times g of x, is equal to, what would be in the bottom? What would be in the bottom, guys?
G of x.
What would be down there? What would be down there?
G of x.
G of x? What would be in the first term? What would be in the first? F prime of x times g of x, but not quite product rule. The minus, but yeah, it's a lot like product rule. F of x times g prime of x. And sorry guys, I know at home this is hard to see. I'm going to read it off for you again. F prime of x times g of x minus f of x times g prime of x all over g of x.
On the line right before that, is g prime of x, like, can you read the line like the one right above it?
Right here, Julia. Yeah, oh, sure. This is f prime of x times g of x divided by g of x. Bless you, Julia. Minus f of x times g prime of x all over g of x.
Couldn't see if that was the prime.
No, that's exactly what I want you to do.
Thank you.
Mason, for the last time today, I promise you, I'm not gonna. Who's the treasurer? Who's the treasurer?
H prime of x.
Guys, what would I need to do to get the treasure all by itself? What would I need to do to get the treasure all by itself? Divide both sides by g of x. And if I do that, how many g of x's will I have down there? 2 g of x times g of x. But g of x times g of x is g of x squared. And we finally end up with this as our quotient rule. H prime of x is equal to f prime of x times g of x minus f of x times g prime of x. I'll get out of your way, guys. I'll get out of your way. F prime of x times g of x minus f of x times g prime of x, all divided by g of x squared. And now I'm just gonna write that down here in big, because I don't think in the grid they can see it. So this is your flashcard. Will this be on Quest 2?
No.
No, and you're like, thank goodness, Dr. Warren. This is the flashcard that we just figured, we just derived. If you have the derivative of a function divided by a function, if you have the derivative of a function divided by a function, it's equal to, the first thing I want you guys to do is draw a fraction, a big old fraction. Now let's see what you've learned. Don't look at the notes and don't look at the board. What goes in the bottom? What goes in the bottom of that quotient rule? What goes in the bottom? G of x squared. So just get that down. Perfect, Henry. G of x squared. Okay, now we're going to take Paris's idea. How many of you know product rule? How many of you already know product rule? Pretty well. How many have that memorized? If you took product rule and changed the plus to a minus, that's your numerator. If you take product rule and change your plus to a minus, that's the numerator. So write that down. Write down your product rule, but putting that plus as a minus. So it would be, the numerator would be
F power of x times
sum of x
Times g of x.
minus f of x times g power of x.
times g power of x. And guys, we only really have two other really major derivative flashcards to go. This is a huge one. You're like, Dr. Warren, it's so hard. No, it's a lot. I agree. But do you know product rule?
Yes.
Then you just gotta remember the g squared. And switch that sign. Okay. I'm going to use it in finished class. I'm going to use this rule in finished class. Now, sadly, I'm ADD, and I erased what I wanted to take the derivative of. Sadly, I'm ADD, and I erased what I need to take the derivative of.
That's why we make us write it down.
That's exactly right. So what was our function I wanted to take the derivative of, guys?
X
What was it?
squared plus 5x plus 7 x squared plus 2x plus 1.
We should do witches for Halloween.
Okay.
Same time.
Okay, now imagine I wanted to take the derivative of this. Do you feel better equipped than you did a little bit ago?
Yes.
Okay, now guys, we're gonna try to do this without intermediate steps. If you can't follow, let me know, and I'll patch it in on Friday. Okay, I want to take the derivative of this. Who's in the location of the g of x? Which function's in the location of the g of x? The bottom one. So draw a big fraction. And then what's going to go in the bottom? If you're using quotient rule?
X squared plus 2x plus 1 squared.
So put that in there. You've got a big squared there. And so this is your g of x. So it's going to be x squared plus 2x plus 1 squared. Okay. What's the derivative of f? What's the derivative of f?
2x plus 5.
The derivative of x squared is 2x. The derivative of this is 5. The derivative of 7 is 0. 2x plus 5, that's this guy. Times g of x. But g of x is
X squared plus 2x plus 1.
x squared plus 2x plus 1. In the quotient rule, the connection's not a plus, but In the quotient rule, the connection's not a plus, but a minus. The numerator, f of x, which is just x squared plus 5x plus 7. And we're ending with the derivative of the denominator,
2x plus 2.
2x plus 2. Now again, we're not ready to do any more, so you can leave it like this. At this point, you do not need to simplify.
Do you need to keep the derivative notation on 2x plus 2 and 2x plus 5 or no?
2x,
Like, do you need that the notation?
oh, sorry, what's your name?
James.
James, we've taken the derivative,
Okay.
so it's done, you toasted it already. I mean, this is James, I would have liked to have put the intermediate step in, but I was
Yeah.
running out of class, so we just jumped to the end. So guys, on quest 3, this is the way I want you attacking this. But James, I promise, if it becomes a problem, let me know and I'll.
No, I'm good.
Wait, so is the quotient rule on quest 2?
Quotient will be on quest 3, not quest
Not
Two.
quest 2.
2.
Okay.
Okay, where do we go on Friday?
Base 31.
031. Thanks for playing, I put up homework. Study for your quest,
That clock has been on since day 1.
I have, okay, you're facing that way, okay?
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
I noticed as soon as you walked in.
Thanks for coming, guys, thanks for coming. Is it better being back in class?
Wait, Professor Gordon, can you like give me a list of everything I have to study for Friday?
Yeah, I did. It was
That
over
was
there.
it? Okay, I wrote that down.
I can show you.
Yeah.
So it'll take you right to the basement.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never seen this.
Sorry, Nick, one more time.
Also, just
I
like
don't need any either. I
might just roam around.
Where are we eating for lunch?
I still can.
About Friday?
Yeah, I'll go to Duke.
Questions?
Sorry, Nick, I might, let me get to the mic.
Everything has a line like halfway though.
About Friday?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll forget. Look at this face.
What?
This face isn't going to remember. Okay, so definitely send me an
I'll take stuff from the
email,
library.
and then I'll set up
Yeah.
something for you,
Yeah.
okay?
I'm gonna print this.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the Hey, same. Professor, when we're doing the quest, do we have to solve problems a certain way, or as long as we get the right answer?
As long as you show me work.
Well, yeah, if I show you
Yeah.
work, but if I like do things a different way than you
No,
should,
that doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because a lot of kids have had calculus in high school, and they've had certain techniques drilled into them, and I don't see undoing those, so.
Yeah, like pre-calc a couple of years ago, I learned it one way, and I feel like this, I was confused at first until I kind of recalled that, and now I can do that way easier.
So that's what I want you doing.
Okay.
I want you doing whatever works best.
Unless he says the limit definition.
Oh, yeah, if I say the limit definition, then
So I have